What's up, guys, and welcome to Slowbro's VGC. And today we'll be doing something different again. We'll be reacting to the 2015 World Championships in the senior division. This battle, in our opinion, is the best battle that we have seen. Like it's full of some cool plays and stuff. Like it's in our opinion. Like you probably might like 2014 World Finals better for I mean, as an example. And yeah, let's jump into the battle and let's look at their teams first. So on the it's lagging a bit. While it's lagging, let's do question of the day. What's your favorite battle? This one's probably ours, or at least the one we want to showcase. So, what is yours? You comment that down in the comments below, and be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And now let's get into the teams. Okay, so on the left you have Cresselia, Landers, Thunderous, Charizard, Sylveon, and Heatran, piloted by Mark and I don't really know. I don't really know his last name, to be honest. And yeah, one of these months it's actually not supposed to be here. They made an error. You'll see later who it's supposed to be. Yeah, it's gonna be a surprise. And on the right side you have Cocky, or but however you're supposed to pronounce that. He's rocking a team with AK Slash, Zapdos, Mega Kangaskhan, Heatran, Sylveon, and Landorus. And yeah, so if you actually put them side by side, like looking at both of their teams, they actually have like four of like similar mons, like Heatran, Landorus, Sylveon, and like they just swapped Thunders for Zapdos. Now, one of these mons, obviously is going to probably be wrong. So yeah, but that's still three mons, right? So you might be like, well, there's no variety, where's the cool mons at? Why do you like this battle so much? There's no Pachirisu or something, and that's one thing we kind of want to make a point of this video is that you shouldn't just judge a battle or even like a game by like how much interesting Pokemon there are. Because you can still do interesting stuff with like more typical Pokemon. Like there's still a lot of interesting ways you can utilize them and their moves. And yeah, let's get into the battle and go full screen because we forgot to do that last time. We'll be muting the battle so that the sound won't interfere. Yeah, we tried filming this. This is our second take. The first take, the background music, or not really the music, but yeah, it was a little distracting. Yeah, we actually made it too loud, so we're gonna turn it off this time. And yeah, you can see both players at team preview, selecting their mons. We're going to skip ahead and see the leads. Okay, so as you can see, Koki or Taki or however you're supposed to pronounce that, I think she just caught a Japanese guy, so you'll stop butchering his name. And he leads with Landers Zapdos. Now this is a pretty anti-Charizard lead, and Mark leads with Cresselia and Charizard. So now Charizard is instantly threatened by the Landers and Zapdos. Yeah, Landers almost always carries Rock Slide, and Zapdos is basically guaranteed to carry an electric move of some sort, usually Thunderbolt. And yeah, so currently both mons on the field threaten Charizard. But Mark still has his options. Like Cresselia probably knows Ice Beam. It can like try to protect Ice Beam Landers, for example, and get some damage off. It probably won't one shot, depending on the item. But it's still pretty good damage into Landers. And let's see what happens here. And this Charizard is a slow Trick Room Charizard, so it is going to underspeed both Zapdos and Landorus. So yeah, let's see what plays do they come up with. Charizard stays in. Does it protect? No protect. Knock off into the Cresselia. Knock off the Mentler, but won't be important here. Thunderbolt into the Cresselia does not even pick up a knockout, and Flamethrower to Zapdos. That's a lot of damage. Just always get a knockout and the burn. But with a Citrus Berry, the burn doesn't really matter too much. Yeah. And Cresselia gets off the Trick Room. So now, what we saw from that play is that Landorus is faster than Zapdos, and Zapdos is faster than Charizard. That's something you have to pay attention when, you're competing and looking at the speeds. So you have a decently fast Landorus, a slower Zapdos, and probably a min-speed Charizard here. And Cresselia is obviously probably the slowest one of all. And so interesting choice to flamethrower Zapdos instead of protecting. He knew Koki would want to deny Trick Room from coming up so that he doesn't have to deal with Charizard under Trick Room, and that he's probably but protect on Charizard is just so obvious, or he could switch out to Landers, for example. Yeah, which is relatively safe. And yeah, Koki doubled the Cresselia trying to knock it out, but as you can see, the Cresselia is just too bulky. Yeah. And yeah, let's see what happens here. So now Kogi has his options, like Ice Beam Flamethrower might be coming to Landers, maybe just a Heat Wave, and Landers is still threatening. Even under Trick Room, it can still Rock Slide, it can still do a lot of damage to Charizard, probably just knock it out. Depending on investments, because there are some people who invest Charizard to survive Rock Slide from Landers. So yeah, we have to see what happens here. And yeah, Zapdos is threatened by Ice Beam and is threatened by Heat Wave, Flamethrower if Mark really doesn't want to miss. And yeah, now he's in a rather awkward position, you can still come back, and yeah, let's just see what Mark comes up with. So you withdrew the Landorus into the Heatran. Now he goes to Heatran, probably expecting Ice Beam, Flamethrower, Double Up to try to knock out Landers. And you see Mark smiling there, and let's see what did he go for. Now Heatran looks rather swap safe. Into the Heatran, taking away the Flash Fire, which means that now Heatran can get hit by a fire move, and Heat Wave coming up. Double connects, does so much damage to Heatran. And knocks out the Zapdos, and now Mark is in a really commanding position. And it's kind of where the point where we start really liking the battle, from the first and second place, where Mark just made really good plays, and now it's really hard for Koki to try to come back, and yeah, let's see what happens. And also, by the way, Charizard actually underspeeds Heatran, so yeah, it's something interesting to note. And he sends in Kangaskhan. Because Kangaskhan can fake out to at least stall out one turn of Trick Room, give him some options. And yeah, let's see what happens here. Most likely it's fake out into Charizard, but he could try to read the Protect and go for a crazier play, or maybe fake out Cresselia, or Double Edge to knock it out. Yeah, let's just see what happens. Kangaskhan Mega Evolves, there's no reason for it not to. And Charizard does stay in, so it probably just protects. And let's see. Yeah, just Charizard does protect, it's rather safe. Yeah, there's not really that much reason not to protect. Even Cresselia goes down, it's not the end of the world. It might actually even be better, which is probably why Cookie didn't bother reading it, because, it might let Landers or something come in for free. Yeah, and we see a Flamethrower into Charizard, that's just Heatran's best move, and your other choice is Earth Power. Yeah, you really had nothing to hit Charizard with. Yeah, because his counters are Zapdos and Landers, and one of them is hiding in the back, and the other one's knocked out. And yeah, let's see what happens. Overheat, if he carries one, they don't really have 3 fire moves. Could knock out Kangaskhan. Flamethrower is still doing a lot. Heater is also Flamethrower is gonna be really close, depending on the investments. And yeah, let's see what does Cresselia want to do. Also, one thing to note is that Cresselia now has Flash Fire, which means he can't just throw skill swaps around as much as he would like, because now you give them fire immunity, which isn't really good. But also means that Kogi's Heatran likely can't actually touch Cresselia. Yeah, which is also why you flamethrower Charizard. Oh yeah, I forgot about Cressida getting flash fire. So yeah, and Kansas decides to switch out, and let's see what happens. Landers comes back in, and let's see what happens. Protect from the heat and try to start a turn of trick room. Yeah, doesn't want to die the heat wave there. Ice beam into the Landers. How much is this gonna do? And I mean, that's a little anticlimactic. Yeah, he did just rather safe. I mean, he could have gone for flamethrower. Yeah, if you went there flamethrower would have knocked out Landers, but like the re wasn't really that necessary. I mean, here Landers is still an awkward spot. And yeah, I think I expected Ice Beam Heatwave to knock out Landers. Yeah, but like that just kind of shows you how broken Landers is. This is probably like 252 plus special defense assault plus Landers, so I mean think about it could make some sense, but like yeah, I can see why Landers is kind of busted. And Landers switches out for Kaskan to try to stop Morton's Trick Room, possibly keeping his Landers alive. Yeah. Ice Beam again into Kaskan. Just to make sure that yeah, it's just like when you're commanding spot, like sure Hito could get extra damage into Kaskan, but like it's not really that necessary. You want to guarantee the knockouts. Like sometimes you complain about RNG a lot, but then you're kind of just being greedy. Yeah, you should make sure that you position yourself in a way that RNG can't screw you over. Like yeah, now harsh sunlight phase, the twisted dimensions return to normal, and Koki looks like he might have a small shot at it. But yeah, let's see. It depends on Mark's back Pokemon. If it's like you need to like flinch, rock slide a lot of times. Yeah, like every turn just a flinch, 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 flinch. And yeah, you see Charizard comes back. There's not that much reason for it to stay in into Landers. And yeah, that should be game over since he brought Landers. Cascades don't run Ice Punch in Gen 6. They only start running in Gen 7. So Double Edge into Cresselia. That hit does very little damage. You look at how much damage the first hit did. Yeah, like it was close to not even knocking out. And yeah, Cass can take some recoil, knockoff. I mean, like the Landers is just so obvious, and knockoff kind of does the most damage because they like it does more than rock slide, right? Yeah, it does more than rock slide. Yeah, you also got to scout the item in case if you didn't already know it. It's Assault Vest, and yeah, most Landers just do run Assault Vest, which kind of shows you a problem in Koki's team is that there might not be enough protects around for him to start Trick Room well. Like Zapdos probably doesn't have Protect. So like once Trick Room got up, it just becomes much harder for the start. And there is the Pokemon. It's Machamp. And the shiny green Machamp. Machamp joining on the field now, and you can just pick up knockouts onto the Kangaskhan, and it's a pretty good Pokemon for him to have. And yeah, double up into Machamp won't even knock it out. Look at this damage. It just barely procs its berry. So that's like a 3 KO at best. And if it's running return, that's gonna be like even better. I guess maybe it doesn't proc berry, but it's still yeah, Rockslide comes out, he needs like infinite flinches at this point. Like look at that damage onto Landers. It's like you need like I don't know how much, like you need a lot of them. Yeah, you get a flinch on the Landers. The dynamic punch coming out into the Kangaskhan and knocks it out. And because of no guard on the champ, dynamic punch cannot miss. And yeah, that should be game over unless if Koki flinches like 100 times or something. Yeah, and even then he can't actually win because Rockslide doesn't have enough PP for him to do that. Yeah, but more importantly, Mark actually has wide guard on his Machamp. He decides not to go for it. And yeah, superpower. Now, interesting choice to not knock off, but like, it doesn't really change anything. Superpower would still pick out a knockout. It gets a crit, but like, that wasn't really important. And yeah, you did rock slide because you don't want to miss. Yeah, that's like no. Yeah, like what you said a while ago. Don't let RNG screw you over. You just click your accurate moves when you can. And yeah, so First game he got wrecked by Charizard under Trick Room, and let's see how he'll adjust to it. And yeah, they're thinking about how to adjust. Yeah, like maybe denying Trick Room wasn't the best idea, or maybe that Lee wasn't the best at denying Trick Room. Yeah, so, maybe you should target on the Charizard. Maybe, let's see what changes they would make. Try to knock it out. And it leads Cascade and Zapdos. Now this would go fake up pressure into Cresselia and possibly like free damage into lead of Landers Cresselia. So you expected a Kangaskhan and let Landers so that you can intimidate onto the Kangaskhan. So Dalvich will now like not be even close to knocking a Cresselia at you and with a Thunderbolt double up. Yeah. Like I think actually maybe intended that's still pretty good. And also depending on investments, Landers could one-shot Kangaskhan with superpower, so that's something that Koki needs to keep in mind. I mean, that's something that you need to keep in mind. So you can't just ignore the Landers and like double the crest freely. You still have to like worry about the Landers. Yeah. Also, Zapdos says do run hidden power ice, so that could threaten Landers if Koki decides to go for that. But yes, you can see from icing on Cresselia, it's probably not knocking out Landers. And let's see what happens. Who does he fake out or does he even bother faking out? Cascade Mega evolves. And let's see. So fake out into the Landers. So he really doesn't want to get super powered there. And let's see Zapdos hidden power. How much is this going to do? That's actually pretty good damage. And not enough because of the salt left. It's actually pretty good damage, but yes, you can see the saltless Landers, it's just really hard to take out. Yeah. So he decided that, you know what, I'm just gonna let Trick Room go up. Landers is like not the best abuse of Trick Room. I think Koki once again was hoping that double up will knock out Landers. And yeah, just great EV spreading to make sure your mom survives. But it makes sense. Like even if you double Cressai, you still can't deny Trick so you probably gave it on that fact. And it's like, you know what? I'm gonna try to beat you under Trick and skill swap into the lander. I mean into the Kangaskhan. So you take away his parental bond, you give it levitate, which isn't important. Yeah, now because you don't have flash fire, you can just skill swap freely since like levitate isn't that important and you're just clicking rock slide anyways. And rock slide, that's actually a lot of damage to Zapdos. Like, actually generally surprised by it the first time I saw it. Like, that's a lot and gets a flinch on the Zapdos. No, the flinch was nice, but it likely wasn't too important. Yeah, like extra Thunderbolt, extra damage to Cresselia. It's like it's good damage, but it likely like in the end it probably wouldn't change like the end result. And Machamp comes in. Now Machamp can threaten Kangaskhan. Zapdos don't have flying moves, so it can't one-shot Machamp. Like I don't even know if you can two-shot Machamp with the Citrus Berry. So this means Kogi's in a pretty bad spot. And he withdraws Kangaskhan into that. Oh, Sylveon. So Sylveon's an interesting choice to bring. You probably wanted damage into Machamp, as you can see last game. And he actually decides to dynamic punch the Zapdos. Now this is a pretty interesting move. Um, this could be because of one of two reasons. Like confusion into Zapdos is always nice. Or like, he could be reading Heatran trying to come in. But Heatran trying to come in, I mean, you take an Ice Beam, perhaps? Yeah, like that could also be because like there's no way Kangaskhan stays in, and even if Kangaskhan stays in, I don't even know if Double Edge plus Thunderbolt Chaos Machamp there. So it's still a decently good play. Confusion, let's see, does Zapdos finally get to move? Ice Beam into the Sylveon. Reading the Landers, because you probably thought that Sylveon, like, I mean, why do you bring Sylveon over Landers? Probably because it's slower under Trick Room, so that's probably why. You probably wanted to counter Machamp under Trick Room. And yeah, there's Sylvia, and Icing gets a hit twice, which means that Mark has a higher chance of freezing. But he doesn't get a freeze there. And Confusion, does that just get to move? It does not. Now you might be like, hey, Mark is so lucky. He's just hacking his way to victory. But again, like, Thunderbolt into Crest. If you hit two Thunderbolts, like, that's probably a Crest at 40%. And also it's like a 50-50 chance, so it's not really like too lucky if you get it. Yeah, it's like Rock Slide is 27, Confusion is 50% in this generation. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, it's like decently good. And yeah, let's see what happens here. One thing to note is that while Machamp hasn't revealed it, most likely carries a rock type move like Stone Edge. No Guard will make Stone Edge always hit, and like there's not much other moves you would want to run. I mean, some might want to run like Ice Punch, for example. But yeah, so Zadus feels a bit threatened and doesn't like confusion. Tries to go to Kanaskan to possibly start more turns if Trick Room gets in for free. And Dynamic Punch into the Kanaskan again and knocks it out with a crit, but the crit didn't really matter. Like again, it looks like Mark got really lucky, but yeah, those crits didn't matter. The superpower crit didn't matter. This crit didn't matter. You know, like you're so ahead that like you take away all of these. Mark is still probably winning in the end. And let's see what happens. Skill swap into the Sylveon, taking away the Pixelate. Now you might be like, oh wait, doesn't Parental Bond like make it pretty strong as well? You can hit twice. Well, thing is, spread moves aren't affected by Parental Bond, which means Hyper Voice is extremely weak right now. Yeah, also, it means that it's no longer super effective into the Machamp, and it's just not doing much damage. I mean, it's some damage, but it's like, it's just not enough to win you the game at this point. Yeah. Mark now in a really commanding position. Sure, you lose double icing freeze, but that's not that important. And Keychain does come in, finally. So now here's an interesting play. It's like, you could switch Sylveon out to try to get that Pixelate, but like, is it important enough for it? And will Mark read into it and target the Sylveon with the Ice Beam? Yeah. So Cody has to make some decisions. Like, is Sylveon important enough that, or like having Pixelate on Sylveon important enough for me to switch it out, or do I just want to keep it in? Also, the Heatran can switch out into Zapdos to take a dynamic punch. Or you could just protect. Mark could double into that slot with Ice Beam, Dynamic Punch. And yeah, so that just see. Sylveon now is not that big of a threat. Heatran is putting on some pressure. You can't just completely ignore it, but yeah, it's nowhere close to one-shotting any of these mons. And let's see what happens. Koki trying to keep his championship dream alive. No protect from the Heatran. Dynamic Punch knocks out the Heatran. I think I was trying to predict Mark predicting him. Either that or he was like, okay, so maybe the only way I win this game is if Heatran magically survives Dynamic Punch. So I'm just gonna go for it. Yeah, when you're so behind, you have to go for your win cons. Like, even as unlikely as maybe the dynamic punch Sylveon instead. Like, even if it's like really that unlikely, you still have to go for it. Maybe I flamethrower burns so much. Yeah, maybe he ice punch or stone edge Sylveon instead. It's a finals. You have to come up with a way you win and just play towards it. It doesn't matter how bad you lose or how embarrassing it looks. All losses are basically equal. So yeah, Hyper Voice comes down, and as you can see, it's good damage. It's actually not too bad, but yeah, it's not enough for Koki to try to win the game. Yeah, it doesn't even look like a forward KO on Machamp. And Zapdos does come in, and yeah, you don't have enough damage output to win the game. Yeah. Like, I mean, I guess Crystal would be, and White are coming out, so I think he was just to make sure that Machamp can survive through the turn, and, Sylveon crits. He also to make sure that Cresselia can set up Trick Room. Yeah, just to guarantee that he wins. Yeah, because of like Thunderbolt crit into Ivor Voice crit might knock out Cress. Yeah, it does feel a bit high for it to do. It'll be a bit close. Like, just play safe. Like, Sylveon doesn't have stronger moves other than Hyper Voice, like Hidden Power Ground. It's not doing much. It doesn't have Levitate, so it's not doing nothing. And you forfeit a match, you basically can't win. And Mark is your 2015 Seniors World Champion. And yeah, that just shows you that even with hopefully you already enjoyed the match before Machamp showed up, and that's why you didn't really want to say Machamp was there and have you only watch it because you wanted to see Machamp. And fun fact, in case if you guys didn't know, Machamp actually won seniors twice, I believe. Yeah, this is actually the second time. The first time was actually back in 2013. Yeah, they also ran like a pretty similar Machamp, I believe. Or was it Guts? I think that's no. It's definitely Dynamic Punch, Wide Guard, and two other moves. And yeah, and that is it. And a clean 2-0 from Mark. There are probably some battles that could be more down to the wire, and you might find more exciting to watch, but it's just the best battle in our opinion. And yeah, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and watch our other videos. So, bye!